Well, obviously, exciting weekend this past weekend with homecoming and everything went along with that. And then, of course, a kind of a game to remember probably for a lot of our alumni and fans with 4 overtime win over Memphis, and a very good Memphis football team. And I'll tell you, just they were every bit what we thought they would be, and just really pleased with being able to get the victory. Obviously, it was not easy, and our kids had to come back time and time again, and just really pleased with the way we stuck together. Pleased with just kind of the toughness and resiliency and effort that we played with, and just just the way we won it. We just made it makes it one that you have certain games in your career that you'll never forget, and I think that's one of them that you'll never forget. Kind of some of the big plays in that one and the way we won it in the end. So big win for the season, big win for our program. Short memory though, because we got another very challenging game coming up against a very, very talented UCF team who is off to a great start this year. And just watching a little bit of their game against Georgia Tech before I came up here, and just seeing how they match up against an ACC team, and you saw them against Louisville, and obviously they've had a couple of big wins here the last 2 weeks over SMU and Temple. So we have quite a challenge. Thank goodness we're at home. So excited to be back in Daddy Ficklin Stadium. Another 7:30 kickoff. Due to TV and playing on ESPN again this week. So it's a great opportunity for our program, and one that I'm sure our kids are going to be ready to go. Really need our crowd back in it. I think they were a big part the other night, especially in overtime, just with the atmosphere in the stadium. And we need that kind of 12th man again this Saturday night. So should be a great matchup. Questions?
Coach, y'all faced some pretty dynamic quarterbacks this year, but I don't know if y'all seen anybody quite like Plumlee, just speed wise and arm strength. Just what type of challenges he present?
I know. I've seen too much of him already. So, obviously played 2 sports at Ole Miss. He played baseball and football at Ole Miss. He was the starting quarterback there, and, lost out in that competition, transferred to UCF. But, he's a big kid, probably 6 foot 6'1", 200 pounds, 4.4, 4.5 speed. So, he has breakaway speed, big muscular kid. Does a really good job in the quarterback run game. When your quarterback is also your leading rusher and you're not running the triple option, that says something about his ability to run the football. So he has over 500 yards gained rushing this year. He's thrown for over 1,500. Doesn't turn the ball over. And then all of a sudden you put him with, some of those skill kids that UCF has, and it just makes it a very, very dangerous offense. And, there's a reason. You look at the game against Temple last week, and, you're watching it's 14-13. Okay, 5 minutes to go in the first half. And then UCF scores the next 56 points, 21 before halftime. And, Temple Temple didn't turn the ball over. They didn't turn the ball over. They didn't get a kick blocked. That UCF didn't return a punt or a kickoff for a touchdown or anything like that. It was just that's how explosive UCF's offense is with Plumlee and his surrounding cast there. And so, it's probably our biggest challenge of the year so far.
Coach, to follow up with that, the whole team speed for UCF, is that the main concern, and are they faster this year than they were last year?
Well, I thought they were pretty fast last year too. I do think the quarterback with Richardson and O'Keefe, and then they've got a couple of transfers, one from Alabama and one from Auburn at the wide receiver position. I think you put a quarterback like Plumlee with those kind of skill kids, and I think that's what makes them so much more explosive offensively. They were very good defensively last year. Obviously, they're very good again. They've given up 20 points or less in every game, and the 20 points was to a very talented Louisville team. So I think that, the speed on the defensive side of the ball, yes, that stands out too. But I think that they're a really solid football team, all 3 phases.
Coach, you made some adjustments in the special teams kicking game last week, personnel-wise, Conrad kicking extra points, field goals. I saw he's listed number 1 in the depth chart. Does that continue? Does that plan continue this Saturday?
Well, I think he earned that opportunity last week with his performance in practice, and I think he backed that up with his performance in the game. So naturally, he's going to be listed as the starter on the depth chart. But it's a thing he's going to have to compete every week, just like everybody else is. So I was very pleased with the way he responded. I was confident after the last, the week before. I didn't feel like he was quite there just yet, but I thought he made a big jump last week. So I would anticipate him making continued improvement this week.
With guys like Chandre Mims and Chad Stevens finding their way in the backfield more often, how does that just make everything easier for the rest of the players on defense?
Well, I think it's just they're being impactful. You look at the 2-point conversion in the third overtime, and we had a line stun on, and Chad just knifes through and hits the running back for no gain or a loss there, and it's you look at. Would he have got in if Chad hadn't made that play? I don't know, but certainly it's a huge play that nobody's really talked about. You look at Chandre, he had at least one sack. He had a couple, may have been labeled as quarterback runs, so maybe been a tackle for a loss, but he's obviously being a huge impact both in the run game and the pass game. But I think that how disruptive our defensive linemen were the other night was a factor in the ball game. We collected 4 sacks. We had several quarterback pressures. We kept Hennigan kind of harassed all night. I think that was a factor in both of the interceptions. I think that was a factor on the last play of the game. And I think it was, a big piece to us winning the ball game. So, it's great to get production from those guys in addition to the other defensive linemen.
Coach, UCF leads the conference in rushing. What's the conversation been like with your guys up front defensively? How important they're going to be this week?
Well, we touched on it a little bit already. You have a dual threat quarterback, and then you have all those other players. I didn't even mention in my opening remarks Bowser, who's our starting tailback last year, and he and Richardson are kind of co-starters this year. But they have multiple quality running backs. Harvey's going to play a lot. Their backup quarterback, Castellanos, the true freshman, may be faster than Plumlee. He had 3 long touchdowns against Temple the other night, and so I think that you got a lot of challenges with the weapons that they have, and obviously offensive line. I think they're very, very solid. A transfer from Virginia and a transfer from Jacksonville State at the 2 tackles. Their center's a returning kid that all conference caliber players. So I just think they're a very solid running football team. Obviously, we're going to have to play very, very well up front, linebacker, box level, this week to be able to slow them down. But the combination of their ability and their scheme that they run is a huge challenge.
Coach, Julius Wood said that he can compete with Keaton Mitchell athletically on the field. Is this a secret weapon that
He probably can. I think everybody had their eyes open when he returned that interception the other night. But Julius obviously was a very talented kid that we recruited out of Blinn Junior College down in Texas. Played a good bit for us last year, special teams, reserve role on defense. Had a great off season, and we really felt he was going to kind of blossom into this type of player this year. But what a game he had the other night. 11 tackles, 6 solo. The interception was just a great play. I thought we had really solid coverage underneath, which forced a little bit of a high throw. Hennigan, again, was harassed on the throw. So, he overthrew the dig route, and Julius made a great break on the ball. But, what a job he did to, not only make the interception, but to return it 47 yards for a touchdown. Had several of our guys, we work the interception return drill each week, but, our guys did a great job executing it, not getting a block in the back, which that can happen sometimes. Chad Stevens had a couple of big blocks on the return. Gerard Stringer had what's now become you can't blindside him anymore, so he did the kind of drive-by block and, to kind of screen a guy, but just a great couple of moves to get into the end zone right there. And, a huge play in the ball game. Tied the game at 20 and kind of got the momentum back headed our way there in the second half. A big play by a really talented player.
Coach, Bree Washington played his most snaps defensively for you guys at corner. How do you think he did in that role? Obviously coming in as an experienced guy, getting his
Right.
first time here.
Well, I think number one for Apri is, the stage wasn't too big for him. He's played a lot of ball, and he's a really savvy ball player. And I thought he was very solid. I think he is probably the most critical person of his performance. I mean, he's texting me at like 12:30 Saturday night, Sunday morning. I'm driving home and I'm getting texts from him, about, Coach, I got to play better. I should have made that tackle on the route right there or whatever. And it's I respect the fact that he's excited about getting his most significant time, but not happy with his performance and wants to play better. But it's good to have him on our squad. Outstanding young man.
Coach, I'm not sure if you're aware, but Coach Malzahn said that he was not aware of Eastern North Carolina's barbecue and that we were famous for that. What's your response to that? Can we make sure that he gets a nice plate of that on Saturday?
I don't know. I'm sure he'll enjoy it. So it's I'm a fan of barbecue. So I love Eastern North Carolina barbecue. So, but I don't know whatever the delicatessen is down there in Orlando. So we'll make sure he gets a plate. Just got to have an argument over which place it comes from, Parker's or B's or Sam Jones. They've got an argument over which one's best. And now we got Mission here in town too. So we've got a lot to choose from.
So I wrote down this play. I think it was in the fourth quarter. Ryan Jones just had a really great block to spring a run, and I guess I'm kind of curious what his involvement is in blocking now. Obviously with Rajay gone, are you kind of looking
Right.
to kind of pick up some of that slack?
Well, at his position, he's got to be a solid blocker, and that was a big play. Keaton was able to break a run off the right side. Ryan had the block on the perimeter defender right there. Keaton didn't quite score. But it got us deep down there, close to the red zone. I think maybe inside the 20, definitely, probably inside the 15. We were able to score a few plays later to take the lead with a minute and some change left. Big block. Something I've really challenged Ryan with is to really continue to improve his blocking on the perimeter and his blocking in the run game in the box. He's a hybrid tight end. His kind of future is going to be that. So he's got to continue to, improve on that and build on that. But certainly that was a big play in the ball game.
Are there any other questions?
All right. Thanks a lot. Go Pirates.